What is going on, YouTube-averse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another Top 5 on this glorious Top 5 Friday, and I'm so excited to be talking to you about the top 5 songs of 1971. What an amazing year in music. Let's get right to it. At number 5...
I listen to the wind of my soul.
The Wind by Cat Stevens, the opening track from his amazing album Teaser and the Fire Cat. This is just one of the best Cat Stevens songs of all time, and that's really saying something. And it's only about 2 minutes in length, but it's just perfect, or just one of the most perfect folk songs ever made. And the lyrics are so deep and moving. It's no wonder that it's used to great cinematic effect in movies like Rushmore, Almost Famous, countless things. Just the lyric, I listen to the wind of my soul, where it takes me, only God knows. Just beautiful and uplifting. It just makes you feel good. And it's really one of the best opening tracks to any album of all time. So that is at my number 5. Now at number 4... Speaking of great opening tracks, Baba O'Riley by The Who from Who's Next. Man, this is absolutely one of the best opening tracks of any album. There's no other song like this. Just the amazing arpeggiated synthesizer sound that Pete Townsend was able to put into this program, or whatever he was using at that time. I don't even know, but that's where the name Baba O'Riley comes from. He was putting letters of programming, and that's what it spit out as a spelling of what he programmed into this machine that just looped this really cool synthesizer. And then he created such an amazing rock track on top of that, with Roger Daltrey doing this just one of his best performances. When he gets to that part of Teenage Wasteland, you're just all in and screaming along with the guy. And of course, Keith Moon's amazing drumming. When those drums kick in, you just want to air drum along to it. And then Entwistle's bass. This is really, I think, the iconic Who song that it may be the best Who song of all time. And then the way it ends with that violin solo and just ending abruptly, it is just nothing short of incredible. And that is just at my number 4. So now at number 3... Echoes by Pink Floyd off of their album Metal. This song takes up half the album. And when I say that, it is side B of Metal. It is 23 minutes long, and it is just an incredible odyssey of music that it's really kind of operatic. It has so many different segments to it that shows Pink Floyd's range. This album came right before Dark Side of the Moon, and this is really the precursor to it, because it feels like so many different songs in one, and so many different styles, where there's obviously progressive rock, but also elements of funk and jazz thrown in for good measure. The midsection of this thing really hits hard with that bass and drum groove. And then it goes into outer space. There's a section of the song that also has just these weird sound effects. But the harmonies, the melodies are just so beautiful between Gilmour and Roger Waters, and the lyrics, which have just this empathy of feeling humanity. It's beautiful, and the way that the guitar echoes literally the keyboard of Richard Wright. It's just this is an amazing piece of music that if you haven't heard, just stop what you're doing now and listen right away and realize this is just one of the greatest songs of all time. And that's at my number 3. Now at number 2, When the Levee Breaks by Led Zeppelin off of their magnum opus, Zoso, also known as 4. This is the closing track on that album, and in my opinion, one of the most amazing closing tracks of any album ever made. It is just... to call it a blues jam doesn't really do it justice, because that's really what it is at its heart. It's really them taking an old blues song and revamping it into their own style, and it's nothing short of miraculous, the heights that this thing goes to. Robert Plant, just his harmonica work in the first minute before the vocals even come in, just sound amazing. The drum sound of John Bonham, just that echo of the drum, it just sounds huge, and like the vibration of it, you're like, yes, man, this is amazing. I wish it could go on forever, and it is 7+ minutes, but I wish it could go on as long as Echoes by Pink Floyd, because this blues song never gets old. It is blues, it is rock, it is space rock, it is Zeppelin at their best. I would actually say it's my favorite Led Zeppelin song, and that's really saying something, and that's at my number 2. So now, folks, what could be number 1?
Imagine all the people.
Imagine by John Lennon. I mean, what can you say about this song? I've reviewed this album, which you can check out on my channel, and I've gushed on and on about it. But I mean, talk about a song that can unify anybody from any race, any culture. This song was just... Lennon at his best, and I think better than anything that he had contributed to the Beatles even. This song just transcends the Beatles. It is like one of the greatest songs ever recorded, and the simplicity in the music is what makes it even the more beautiful. It was produced by Phil Spector, and it's just John, the piano, very light drums and bass accompanying by Klaus Voormann and Ringo. And the vocals say it all. I mean, imagine there's no heaven, all the way through the end of the song, saying, essentially, the gist of this song is that if we all really believe in the power of love, we can unify, and there can be essentially, as the Bible says, heaven on earth. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, is really what this song is trying to say, and in a way that anyone can understand. And it's beautiful. What can you say? That is at my number 1. That is my top 5 songs of 1971. Let me know in the comments below, what is your top 5? If you're so bold, leave me a top 10, because there were so many amazing songs from that year. I mean, the 70s, let's face it, was the greatest decade of music ever. And 71... and 1970, I think, were the 2 best years of that decade. And this is just, I mean, every song on this top 5 is a 10 out of 10. Just amazing. So that is my list. Thank you guys so much for watching. We have top 5s every Friday, album reviews, and so much more. Thank you. And as always, Viva la Vinyl. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so you can always see great quality content like you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting Johnny Radio, and I'll see you soon.